Have you ever been hungry? I don't mean hungry like you haven't eaten in a few hours and it's time to go from lunch to dinner. I'm talking about famine level hungry or thirsty. Again, not like you've been out running or playing some sporting event and you'd like to have something to drink, a glass of water or lemonade, something like that. Not that kind of thirsty. I mean, you've been in a hot, dry desert for 2 or 3 days, and your mouth is so dry, your tongue is so thick that that's the kind of thirsty I'm talking about. We don't see that a whole lot today in the world. There are, of course, still places in the world where famine does exist, or people do get so hungry they starve to death. 20th century saw that quite a bit with the communist dictatorships. But it's not as common today as it was in ancient times. So when Jesus said, "Blessed are they who hunger and thirst after righteousness," it was something that meant something to the people of that day. They knew what famine meant. Go back in the Old Testament and you'll see that famine occurs with some degree of frequency. Of course, the whole reason that the children of Israel ended up in Egypt was because there was a 7-year famine in Egypt, and Jacob and his family moved down there, and Joseph took care of them. And there were other places where there were famines. We read about even in the New Testament a famine in the Roman Empire. It happened. And so when Jesus taught his disciples to pray, "Give us this day our daily bread," again, that was something that meant something to those people, that they could be thankful literally every day for their food. They didn't have refrigerators like we do where they could preserve food. They didn't have freezers where they could keep food for a long time. Women would literally go to the market almost every day to buy their daily food. And if that food wasn't there, they could starve to death. They could literally have a famine in the land. So it was real to those people. And so when Jesus said in Matthew chapter 5 and verse 6, "Blessed are they who hunger and thirst after righteousness," he's not talking about the kind of hunger that comes between meals. He's talking about people who are really starving to death, who are so desirous of having something to eat or something to drink that they would almost kill to get it. Now, maybe not literally, but I mean that level of desire, they're really starving to death. They really have nothing to drink, and they're so thirsty that they will do anything to get it. Blessed are those people, not the people who go from lunch to supper, but those people who are so desirous of having something to eat, they'll do almost anything to get it. Now, again, you and I probably have never been in that kind of situation, and perhaps we don't know anybody that has. Although, again, it is not totally uncommon in our world today. But you and I probably don't understand the depth of craving, the depth of desire to have something to eat, to have something to drink. You and I probably don't understand fully exactly what Jesus was talking about. But the people of Jesus' day would. And what Jesus is saying here, "Blessed are they who hunger and thirst after righteousness," people who want to be righteous with God so badly that they'll do anything, almost anything, to get it. Not hunger and thirst after food or drink. Jesus says, blessed are they who do hunger and thirst after righteousness, who want to be righteous with God so badly. It's like a famine to them. It's like almost being thirsty to death. They have to be right with God. Does that describe you? Does that describe how badly you want to be righteous with God that you'll do almost anything to get it? Jesus said, they shall be filled. Not until we reach that point where we hunger and thirst after righteousness like it's a famine or a desert. Not until we reach that point where our desire to be righteous puts us in that kind of position can we be in a position where God can truly fill us. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. Hunger and thirst after righteousness as if you were starving to death, as if you were in the driest desert in the world and you didn't see a drop of water anywhere and you were about to die unless you got it. That's what Jesus is talking about in Matthew chapter 5 and verse 6.